Greetings, fellow members of the Esoteric Order of Gamers. It's time for a joy of unboxing, and it's a bit unexpected today. I got a big box, and inside it was all of this. It's called Okko Chronicles. Now, some of you may have heard of the game Okko, and indeed of the character. The character is from a French graphic novel comic series. It's sort of Japanese medieval meets mythological themes. And there was a previous game of this name that came out. It's over here on the shelf. Let's go have a look. Let me see. Here it is. Okko, era of the Karasu and era of the Asagiri. And this was a game that came with separate metal miniatures. It's a sort of tabletop skirmish game. Tabletop, it's with tiles. And here are the miniatures. If we just go on over here to my miniature storage area, you can see they brought out some beautiful metal miniatures. And these were very difficult to put together, incredibly finely detailed and very fragile. In fact, this model here originally had little bits coming off his loincloth. Oh no, they're still there. I thought I'd lost. I think there were some more that were so difficult to fit I just chucked them in the end. Really, really fragile, but beautiful miniatures. Really, really nice. And they came quite separately to the core game. So I didn't play it too much. It was okay. It was fun painting the miniatures, but I never really got into it. And then a company called The Red Joker decided to relaunch Okko, and they came up with Okko Chronicles. And here we are. It was estimated to have been delivered on December 2018, so it's about 6 months late, which isn't too bad. That's usual Kickstarter lateness. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. Here's the core set. There's an expansion here. I don't even know what's in these. I backed it ages ago and I'd forgotten all about it. So let's unbox it together and see what's inside Okko Chronicles. Okay, let's get started with this core box. And here's the back. There's lots of miniatures and lots of tokens and tiles. Okko Chronicles sees players take on the role of the legendary Ronin and his travelling companions as they move through the Palace of Mists to uncover a dark conspiracy and defeat the demonic Oni that lies at its heart. Well. So they've introduced more of an adventure element to this game now. It's not just pure combat as it was before. Shrink wrap, can't grab it. There we go. Right. So, the rule book, here it is. There we go. Of course, as per usual, the Esoteric Order of Gamers will be creating a rules summary for this game. Looks like there's quite a lot to it. There we go. A scenario book. So, scenario-driven game. And as you can see, there are tiles and setup. I've got so many games of this type. I was actually just getting to the point where I'm thinking, you know, I think I've got enough games with tiles and miniatures, because as fun as they are, there is a bit of similarity between all these types of games. But it's great to have this one, and I'm just probably going to look at some different styles in the future. Some nice looking counters. There's some tiles. That's all breaking up into individual tiles. Artwork is quite nice. Backs of those. This is an interesting board. It looks like some kind of AI system for supernatural creatures and mortal thralls. Corruption track. There we go. Okay, it's a corruption track. So it's not an AI system. Round marker there. It's a stiff card, which is good. More counters. More counters. All falling out nicely. So the die cutting has been very clean, which is good. This looks like miniatures. coloured bases. Have a look at those in a moment. I'm really hoping I can use some of my metal miniatures. I know I can use some of my metal miniatures for this game, so I won't have to paint all these up straight away, but from a glance they look good. Let's have another look later. Okay, down here, what do we have? There's a clear insert and lots of stuff. Some tiles. Here are our terrain tiles, and they look beautiful. Very nice. Artwork, Japanese themed, of course. Wonderful. I visited some old buildings like this when I was in Japan, actually. Beautiful architecture. There's some custom dice. Looks like some 8-sided ones in there. So these look like our heroes. Here's Okko himself. Thin card, as these cards always are. And yes, I certainly have some of these characters in metal form already, which is great. These are bad guys as well. Ugh. Demons. Weird Japanese demons. The Japanese have some fantastic mythological creatures and ghosts that are just super weird. Don't know what these are, but some other strange cards. Equipment cards. Here we are, a selection of weapons and equipment for our heroes. Oh, a big deck of action cards. And it looks like we have different action cards for different heroes. We've got clue cards as well, event cards, wound cards, kami cards. So, lots of stuff going on, very much in the cartoony style, of course. They look great, lots of artwork. Really nice. Impressed with the simple graphic design. It's lovely. All looks very professionally done. This looks like a few rule summaries. And some setup cards for some missions. I will tell you a very unhappy tale. Or an extraordinary tale. Interesting. Don't know what these are. It's a strange little, like kind of experience things or roles or something. Don't know. Have to read the rules. And finally, these. The alarm was raised. The Oni escaped. There you go. Wow, really nice. I'm impressed with all the stuff here. It's great. Let's have a look at these miniatures. Well, I must say these miniatures are quite lovely. And, you know, after just getting Batman by Monolith, it's really nice to see some miniatures with so much detail in them. Such good quality ones. These are definitely better than those Monolith ones. Look at these lovely bases. They're much more solid and don't bend. We had a lot of problems with bendy bases in Batman. And very nice miniatures. These are our bad guys. There's quite a lot of these 4 different types of bad guys. As you can see, there's repetitions of all those types in there. And these are the demons. And they're really impressive. Very nicely made miniatures, good quality plastic. I noticed a few bendy swords, but nothing too much. Very good. I'm impressed, and I'm glad I've got some extra sets because these miniatures are quite lovely. Just for the sake of interest, I'm comparing here the plastic miniatures you get in Okko Chronicles with the original metal miniatures. And as you can see, they compare very favourably. Slightly larger in scale, but the detail is quite lovely on the plastic ones. And certainly in this case, a more dynamic pose than the original. I'm very pleased with these miniatures. Nice work, Red Joker! Okay then, let's continue with some of these extras. Now I noticed these have all got Cycle of Water written down the bottom, even the core set. So if they're planning to do a cycle for every element, well, there's going to be a lot of stuff, isn't there? We'll see how good the game is first. This one is called Monastery of the Silver Plum Tree. It comes in a box with sort of thinner cardboard. These horrible side opening boxes, really don't like these, but anyway. And here's the scenario book, bent there. This seems to be another campaign of linked adventures. Certainly enough for many games to come. There's that. There's a sheet of counters. A couple of extra map tiles. More great artwork. Look at that. Fantastic little temple. Some more scenario setup cards. And some more hero and bad guy cards. And what's this thing? This is interesting. Seems to be some kind of thing. Perhaps these go into here. How strange. Don't know how they work. There's a few of those. Right, I've just looked it up. These are Kickstarter exclusive supports for the heroes. So I'm not sure it's got information on there, but if you pop that on the top, that covers up that information. So perhaps that... No, I don't know. Have to work that out. More cards. Now I can see that storage is going to be a slight problem because of these thin boxes with just these inside them, but I'll have to make up some foam core inserts or something. Here are our extra cards. Wow, so much stuff. Whew. I think I'm feeling it's slightly burnt out just because I got Batman very recently and there's just been so much stuff taking up so much space in my storage area. But I should do that because this looks lovely on its own. And they've obviously gone into a lot of effort to make such a lovely product. That. Let's see these miniatures. And these are strange looking things. They must be some kind of spirit things. Or elemental spirits. They're sort of cute, but you know, nothing too special there. Of course these do fit back into these inserts, but if I sleeve these cards, it's certainly not going to work. It's quite restrictive. Okay, the next one is Palace of Puppets. It's funny when you get some Kickstarter things and you really just buy it and then forget all about it. And it arrives, you know, a year and a half later and it's like, wow, what's all this stuff? Another side opening box. Right, scenario book. Wow, look, this is really going to keep me busy forever. I can't imagine ever wanting more. I know there's a lot more of this stuff, but there's a lot of games worth of content here. More counters. More tiles. Whoever did the artwork on these tiles really did a beautiful job. And I won't go through all these. You can see them before. There's character cards, scenario cards, various action cards, these mysterious ones. Let's look at the miniatures. Now we're getting a little bit more impressive. Look at that. That's a horrifying thing. Very nice figure. Look at that detail. Just lovely. Yes, these are very nice. There are 5 of this guy. And 1 of this woman. Well, that looks great. It's a nice looking set. Here's another big one. The Heroes of the People is the name of this one. I actually think that box, Monastery of the Silver Plum Tree, was the only extra I bought. The rest are stretch goals. Scenario book. Gee, I hope this is a good game. More counters. More beautiful tiles. Oh, this is a shipboard one. Lovely. More cards, 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 cards and cards. And oh, a couple of layers of miniatures here. 5 more of each of these designs, which are ones that are already in the core set. And there's 5 each of these as well. There are some new heroes, however. There they are. So finally we've got one more, which is Bunraku, which looks like a single figure. Is it just me, or do you also hate these kind of engineering things when you open this tab that stops this tab from opening? It always tears and breaks along here. I don't know who engineered this concept, but it just never works for me. Anyway, just to the side. And, oh, it's the same one I've got again. That came in the other one here. Then again, I shouldn't complain because these were stretch goals, so, you know, it's extra stuff for free. A very nice looking production by the Red Joker, Okko Chronicles. And it's, again, quite a lot to paint, but I've also already painted those metal miniatures, so I can use those and start playing it straight away with some nice miniatures. But it certainly looks like they've expanded the game a hell of a lot. The original game was pretty simple combat game, and there's a lot more going on in this with adventures and scenarios and the whole bit. So there you go, beautiful looking stuff and great artwork. Okko Chronicles. Hope you've enjoyed this look inside this particular pledge. This was the Samurai pledge, by the way, which was €90, not including shipping. And as I said, of course, there'll be a rules summary on the Esoteric Order of Gamers, which is at orderofgamers.com. Don't forget all the social media stuff, the website, the YouTube channel, the Patreon page. Check it all out and find lots of fantastic stuff about thematic, imaginative gaming. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.